Your phone glows in the dark, and your thumb just keeps moving. Your brain is begging you to stop. Work tomorrow, alarm set for 6, and yet one more scroll, one more video, one more rabbit hole. 40 minutes later, you've learned that sea otters hold hands while sleeping so they don't drift apart from each other. You've read a full Reddit thread about a couple that ended their relationship over a laser tag argument. And you've watched a man in a jungle somewhere build a swimming pool out of pure mud at 2 in the morning. We are absolutely elite at destroying our own sleep. But here's what nobody talks about. Go back 30,000 years, and nighttime wasn't just inconvenient, it was a sentence. Because when the sun disappeared, our ancestors weren't scrolling, they were surviving. Darkness in the Stone Age was a horror film with no credits and no exit. Think about what humans actually are biologically. No claws, no fangs, night vision that couldn't see past a few feet, a top speed that any large predator would find amusing. Stripped down to essentials, a Stone Age human alone in the dark was basically an anxious, slow-moving snack with anxiety issues and a sharpened stick. And the darkness itself? Nothing like what we call dark today. No streetlights, no windows glowing from the neighbor's apartment, no phone screen. It was the kind of black where you could press your palm against your face and feel genuinely uncertain whether your hand was still there. And somewhere out in that void, wolves, hyenas, cave lions, and possibly a rival group of humans who did not have friendly intentions. So before anyone could close their eyes, there had to be a plan, a defense, a signal to the brain that said, "Tonight we survive." That signal was fire. Humans have controlled fire for hundreds of thousands of years, and fire wasn't just warmth or cooking, it was everything. Light, security, a barrier predators wouldn't cross, a chemical signal that drove insects away, and something else entirely, something almost psychological. There's a reason you can stare at a campfire and lose yourself completely. Research shows that watching the movement of flames genuinely lowers blood pressure. It pulls people into a state that mirrors deep meditation, not because fire is pretty, but because hundreds of thousands of years of evolution carved one idea permanently into your nervous system. Fire means we're still here. Fire means we made it through another day. But here's what fire actually gave us that nobody ever mentions: time. Before controlled fire, the sunset ended the day. Daytime was survival mode, hunting, gathering, repairing tools, watching for danger. But at night, gathered around the fire, something shifted. The threat retreated to the edge of the light, and suddenly there was space. Space to think, space to laugh, space to wonder out loud. Anthropologists believe that complex human language didn't develop during the hunt. It developed here, at night, around the fire, in long, rambling, dramatic conversations about what someone saw in the forest, what happened at the river, who said what and to whom, and why it mattered. Those campfire sessions were the original entertainment, the original connection, the original culture. And the best storytellers, they earn the highest status in the group, which means content creation is genuinely the oldest profession. Except their hook wasn't a thumbnail, it was, "You will not believe what I saw today." But when it was finally time to sleep, how did they actually do it? Here's where things get genuinely impressive. In Sibudu Cave in South Africa, archaeologists uncovered plant-based mattresses that are 77,000 years old. And they weren't primitive piles of leaves, they were engineered. The bottom layer was compressed ash. Ash insulates against cold stone, disrupts insects, and kills parasites. Above that, woven layers of grass and reeds for cushioning, and the very top layer, selected plant species known to repel insects naturally. 77,000 years ago, your ancestors were building organic, biodegradable, anti-mosquito sleeping systems. In 2026, with laboratories and chemical sprays and entire research departments, we are still losing to mosquitoes. They also had a cleaning method that made spring cleaning look timid. When a sleeping mat got too contaminated with bacteria, they didn't wash it. They burned it completely, then built a fresh one. Extreme? Maybe. Effective? Absolutely. But the strangest discovery about ancient sleep isn't the mattresses. It's the structure of sleep itself. The standard 8-hour block we're told to aim for each night may actually be completely invented. Before the Industrial Revolution, historical records across cultures describe a different pattern entirely. People would sleep after sunset for roughly 4 hours, then naturally wake in the middle of the night. They'd stay awake for an hour or two, tending the fire, talking quietly, praying, or simply lying still in the dark. Then they'd drift back into a second sleep until dawn. That middle-of-the-night waking wasn't insomnia. It wasn't a disorder. It was the rhythm. But factories changed everything. Rigid shifts, punch-in times, alarm clocks that don't care what your body needs. And so we compressed the whole night into one block and called it normal. Your body, though, your body never updated the software. Why does rain help you sleep? Because in the Stone Age, rain meant predators couldn't track your scent. Safety. Why do you sleep better next to someone than alone in complete silence? Stone Age logic. Solitude at night historically meant danger. Why does blue light from your screen keep your brain buzzing long after midnight? Because your nervous system cannot tell the difference between an LED and the sun. It sees that light and genuinely believes morning has arrived. You are a Stone Age nervous system living in a smart apartment. And then there are dreams. Imagine experiencing them with no framework to explain them. Every night you vanish. Dead relatives appear and speak. Impossible places feel completely real. Things chase you that have no name. And then morning comes and you're alive and none of it happened. For ancient people, the border between dreams and waking life was porous. Of course they believed dreams were messages. Of course they thought the sleeping mind traveled somewhere real. What other explanation existed? Here is the strange, almost uncomfortable truth of all of this. Our ancestors had nothing. No hospitals, no locks, no climate control, no memory foam. Every single night carried the real possibility of not surviving until morning. And yet they slept when their bodies said sleep. They woke when their bodies said wake. They moved in rhythm with the planet, with the fire, with each other. We have eliminated nearly every physical threat they faced. We live in the safest moment in all of human history. And we lie awake at 2 a.m. staring at a ceiling, wondering why we can't rest. Maybe the problem isn't that sleep got harder. Maybe the problem is that we forgot what sleep was actually for.